athlete will be Juwan Roberts, who should be here shortly. So we will go to questions for Coach Sampson. Who wants to go first? I think here on the right side on the inside aisle.
Coach, can you specify what Jamal's injury was, and two, what his absence meant to your team ultimately?
Grade 4 sprain. He's probably going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. That was really tough locker room at halftime. But it didn't take a lot to convince those kids that we could still win. You know, that's just kind of what we've done all year. You know, we've dealt with this all year. But as far as answering your question, what did it mean ultimately? He's first-team All-American. He's a Big 12 Player of the Year. He's a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He's the heart and soul of this team. I doubt any team in America has maybe Edie from Purdue that means as much to their team as Jamal would mean to this team. There's just not another Jamal. I mean, he was the best player on the floor tonight. He's been the best player on the floor every game we've played this year, except a few. You know, we got a 1 seed because of his leadership, his toughness, his ability to make everybody better. We didn't have another. You don't have another Jamal. You say, well, who's your point guard to replace Jamal? We don't have a point guard to replace Jamal. Those guys are. You know, we've had guys to go in and rest him, but get him back in. But you know, sometimes that's just God's work. It just wasn't our time. I couldn't be more proud of our team, though. You know, we're still in a position to win the game. We held that team to 54 points. I mean, second chance points, they were +2. Points off turnovers were +5. Fast break points, they had none. We had 2. You know, we had some plays that I wish we would have made that we certainly could have made, but we were in a position to win the game without Jamal. Obviously, with Jamal, it's a totally different story, but that's neither here nor there, is it? So, but proud of my kids, resilient, tough, just like they've been all year. My disappointment came in not just in losing, but not being able to coach them tomorrow. I love coaching this team. I really did. This is an unbelievable group of young men.
Okay, we are now joined by Juwan Roberts. Why don't we move from Coach to Juwan, and then we'll come back for Coach in a bit. So questions now for our student athlete, and I think we have one right here toward the back on Juwan's right.
Ishmael Johnson, Dave Campbell's. Juwan, you know, when Jamal goes out, Coach yesterday was talking about your leadership and how you two were kind of the pillars of this culture. You know, when you see him go out, what goes through your mind and how do you kind of proceed through the game?
Just, you know, try to be the voice of the team. You know, he's the head of the snake. You know, he's the leader. When he goes, we goes. And, you know, my job when he's on and off the court is still lead by example, you know, and just try to take everybody else under my wing and just try to be a leader that I am. You know, when he went down, you know, it was hard to see, but, you know, we got confidence in each other, you know, that we're going to stay together, you know, and play for him. It happened to me when I played against Texas Tech, and I went down pretty hard. And, you know, they all came together and said, we're going to do this for Juan. So it's just, the way I look at it, this is just deeper than basketball. And you know, it wasn't the outcome, you know, that we wanted, but I don't think nobody quit. You know, I don't think nobody gave up. You know, everybody just kept fighting. You look up, we down 1, you know, we down 2, down 3. It wasn't like it was a 15-point lead and we just quit. So, you know, definitely proud of the guys, you know, and not giving up, you know, knowing we didn't have our lead on the floor, but just, you know, trusting each other. But it wasn't an outcome that we wanted.
Okay, straight ahead.
Juwan, Tim Kalishaw, Dallas Morning News. It was 8-3 at the first time out, and you had all the points. I think Francis had a basket, but all the points right inside. You're killing them inside. Obviously, the game changed for a number of reasons, but what did they do to make the physical battle more even as the game went on? Because it looked like you had control early.
Foul trouble.
Yeah, just foul trouble. Just, you know, some fouls that was, you know, pointless. You know, end of the shot clock fouls, reaching fouls. Just did little discipline areas that we did. But I would say that was the main part. Just not being a discipline, but just, you know, silly fouls.
Okay, in the middle here on the left.
Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. Juwan, what emotions are running through your head right now?
You know, 1, we lost. 2, we don't have any practice tomorrow. You know, we don't have any more film sessions. We don't have any wake-up calls anymore. You know, the season is over with. And we started this back in June. And we always had one goal, that's to get to the national championship. And that's really you know, all the emotions that's going through, just not being able to be with these group of guys again. And I love every single one of them. You know, they real brothers to me. You know, we never go a day without talking to each other. We always see each other every day. Just the bond that we have with each other, and it's a real special group, you know, especially with all the adversity that we've been a part of. Injuries, you know, Terrence being out. And, you know, just the journey that we've been on. You know, a couple of days ago, JoJo, the freshman, I told him, you didn't think you was going to be on the Sweet 16 team your first year. And, you know, just all the stuff that you've been through, surgery, it's just all part of the process, you know. And I try to tell the guys, like, you know, be sad that we lost, but, you know, yeah, that's the main thing. Just not being able to practice with these guys again.
Anything else for Juwan before we let him go back to the locker room? Juwan, no more questions for you. Thanks so much for coming, and congratulations on really a terrific season. So thank you so much. We will go back to questions for Coach. Okay, right here on the left.
Hi, Coach. Again, Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. Would you have done anything differently looking back on this season?
Well, I don't know. It's probably not the time to ask that right now.
Question now on the right side.
Ishmael Johnson, Dave Campbell's. Same thing I asked to Juwan. You know, yesterday you talked about him being one of kind of the unsung leaders along with Jamal, who kind of gets all the national plaudits, of course. But, you know, what did you see from him tonight when, you know, Jamal went down and you needed somebody to step up on both ends, really?
Well, we had a game plan going in that when the ball got reversed and we set those step-up screens that they'd switch, and then Juan would just get it down and make the right read. You know, if they came in doubled, move it, we were going to get a shot on the other side of the floor. If they didn't come, just play one-on-one. They didn't come, so we played one-on-one, and he was scoring at will. But then he got a little bit too aggressive on a back down, and, you know, the kid, you know, he did the right thing. I mean, Juwan shouldn't have given that little extra nudge, but you're taught to flop. You know, he did what he was supposed to do, and the call went against. Problem was when that was his second foul. And you said, what changed? Well, when he's on the bench, he can't score inside anymore. So that's what changed. You say, well, how did they even it out? There was no evening out. He wasn't in the game. So when he's not in the game, that's, we're already down JoJo. So that wasn't a game that I could put the other freshman in, said Lott. That wasn't fair to him. Wasn't fair to our team either. But Jaywan's he's a wonderful young man. He really is. He's just a great, great, great human being. Jamal was the heartbeat of this team, but in a lot of ways, the soul of this team was J1. He had a tremendous year. Second team all-conference, Big 12. Because of our limitations with the other injuries, we just couldn't afford him to get his second foul tonight. But even that, I thought this was a game we could win. But without Juan or Jamal, it'd be difficult. We still have a chance. But with Jamal and with J1, obviously.
Okay, straight ahead now.
Kelvin, Tim Kalishow, Dallas Morning News. I don't know if this even matters, but does it feel kind of anticlimactic? You had a great team, obviously a number 1 ranked team. You want to see if it can win a championship or what it's going to take to beat this team. And ultimately, Shed misses 26 minutes.
What's the question?
Does it feel anticlimactic? Not a normal end.
Well, it doesn't feel like a fair fight. You'd have to take maybe 2 of theirs to equal 1 of Jamal. That's how good he was. And he's a first-team All-American. You don't have another one of those. You don't have the best defensive player in the Big 12. You don't have a guy that made all the big shots at the end. I thought our kids battled. Think about it. We had the ball a couple of times to take the lead late in the game. So it's not like we lost Jamal, okay, the game was lost. No, we still battled, but that's our identity. It's our culture. It's who we are. But we felt like we had a good enough team to get to Arizona. It was unfortunate that team wasn't able to stay together.
Okay, we'll take one last question in for Coach Sampson here on the right.
Coach, do you think if Jamal's in the game, you win?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, so you've been through this enough. You've had a great season, Sweet 16, 30-plus wins, all that stuff. Do you feel like you had a great year?
Obviously.
Okay, Coach, thank you so much.